All right, Lynn, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Why do you think there's a lack of financial literacy in our country?
The first reason is really simple. It's not taught. My 16-year-old daughter was trying to get out of her algebra quiz, and she said, Mom, why do I need to learn algebra? I need to know how to do my taxes.
Right.
And the second reason, Steve, is because we are attached to things. We are attached to material things, clothing, furniture, jewelry, and cars, and we know that money can get us those things. And so we forget that 1 + 1 = 2, and we find ourselves in a deficit when it's too late.
Wow. And you're absolutely correct about teaching, because financial literacy equals success.
Yes.
That's what it is. Well,
Yeah.
please welcome Jessica to the show.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, Jessica, why do you need Lynn's help?
It started with my divorce. I racked up credit card debt. I filed for bankruptcy. I'm in active bankruptcy right now. I've got 2 amazing children. My daughter Maya is 17. She'll be graduating in June, hopefully on to college in the fall. My son Tosh is 13. He's not far behind her. But on the other hand, I have my own snowballing massive amount of student loan debt from grad school, and I owe money to the tax people. I'm recently unemployed to make matters worse. The bright spot in this, if there is one, is that at the end of this year, I'm supposed to get my final divorce settlement, and it's $50,000. So what I want Lynn's help with, what do I do with that money to get the most bang for the buck? You know, do I pay off my credit card debt? Do I go put it in retirement? Do I put it away for my kids' college? Do I take a trip around the world?
Me and Jessica has shared her debt with you. When you analyze her debt, what do you find?
Right now, she's got about $100,000 in student loan debt. There's about 7 credit cards with high interest rates. And then we've got $10,000 owed to the IRS. Right now, you've got about $131,000 in debt, but we're gonna walk her through getting out of it. Yeah. And I want everybody to understand, there are haters in this world, not just haters for success, but haters for you getting your money straight. Don't let anybody tell you that bankruptcy is something that is just wrong. I don't know where that comes from. It is legal and it is biblical. That's as right as you can get. And I am really proud of you because you've been in this bankruptcy for how long?
I'll be done next June.
Go on, girl, give me a high five. I'm sorry.
I would get down, but I'll trip.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so Lynn, you've shown us how much debt she's in. How can you help her?
Okay, there are some places that you can improve your budget. So the first thing I noticed, your income was less than your expenses.
Right.
Everybody has to understand 1 + 1 = 2. You cannot be successful if you are working against mathematics. So we reduced your giving to 0. Cell phone bills were $265. Crazy. Let me tell you something. They got $20 cell phones. So you need to reestablish your cell phone situation. And I always call and I tell them, listen, do you have any plans for new people? And they say, well, it's only for new people. Well, then you say, do I need to leave and come back and be new again?
Okay.
Right? And then clothing, I reduced your clothing.
Right.
Honey, you look sharp, okay? You just got it together. You don't need to buy any more clothes.
I'm good on clothes. I agree.
Okay?
You can't buy no more clothes.
Not while she's unemployed and trying to get back to the next step.
Oh, okay.
Yes, right. Entertainment, again, free. Everything has to be free. And then allowances. Okay, so how about we allow these kids to get a job, right? Allowances is too much, right?
My daughter just got a job, so we're good for that.
Well, right now you're at $4,100 and you can actually do this. You can breathe, you can think. It fits into your budget, and we should give her a round of applause for her new debt.
Wow.
Thank you.
So, Jessica, what do you think? Is that something that you can work on?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, my daughter just recently got a job, so that helps with the allowances.
Which one of these you think you might struggle with?
Entertainment is kind of tough because we like to go to the movies every once in a while.
Here's something you can do. So you use your debit card for your daily expenses like gas. At the end of the month, those points add up, right? Your points add up on your debit card. Go look into your rewards in your bank and see what you can cash them in. I cashed in my debit card points every single month. We took our 3 kids to the movie, and they wanted the little laptop meal. We're getting 1 big popcorn and 1 big pop, and then we're going to refill it, and we're going to get 5.
Pop?
Absolutely, 1 large one.
4 people?
4 people. It's this
so
big.
So you passing that little nasty straw?
No. You got to get 4
Don't nobody
cups.
want to drink after they daddy?
You get
No, I'm not going to the movie with y'all.
It's Money Mondays. What can I tell you? Save money by any means necessary.
I think this is a good plan.
Bankruptcy is not the end of the world. I have gone through bankruptcy not once but twice. I helped a lady with 4 bankruptcies and 2 foreclosures overcome her credit issues. She got into a house with a low interest rate and a low down payment, and she was able to rebuild her life and become financially free. So if I can do it, if she can do it, you can too. Here's a few things that you need to know about bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is what wealthy people use to preserve wealth. Let me repeat, bankruptcy is what wealthy people use to preserve wealth. Wealthy people will say, my cash flow is going to be down to $500 million in the next 6 months. So I need to reorganize. I need to take advantage of the laws so that I do not lose all of my wealth. Poor people think that bankruptcy came from Satan. They think bankruptcy is bad. So by the time broke people and poor people get to the bankruptcy court, broke was 27 stages ago. You have gone through your savings, your 401k, you have maxed out your credit cards, you've gone through all the equity and all of your assets like your real estate, and now there's nothing left. You get to the bottom of the barrel and bankruptcy is the only choice that you have. You do not need to be afraid of bankruptcy. Now, am I telling everybody to go file bankruptcy? Absolutely not. The last time I filed bankruptcy, I was resolved and I was repentant and I was humble, and I said, what do I need to do differently? So when I filed that bankruptcy, I got rid of all the debt. I did not keep any of the debt because I didn't want to be selective about which debt I was going to keep. But if you need to file bankruptcy, do not be confused, because let me help you understand this. First of all, if they are coming to get your car, right, and you have been hiding your car in your cousin Pookie's garage, you might need to go on and file bankruptcy, because if they come and repossess your car, they're still going to want the money. Now, if you didn't have the money to pay for the car when you could drive it, how are you going to pay for the car when you don't have the car and you can't drive it? So if you are being threatened with a repossession, you might need to think about filing bankruptcy. If your bill collectors are calling you from 1722, okay, 200 years ago, you thought they were gone, you thought they forgot, but they did not, they are popping up again, you just might need to file bankruptcy. If they are coming to foreclose on your house, if someone is threatening you with a garnishment or judgment, then you may need to think about filing bankruptcy. Don't let the hammer fall down on you and then have to try to recover. One of my dear friends, God rest her soul, she filed bankruptcy before she ever made a late payment. She contacted me. She said, Lynn, listen, things are not going well. I have been robbing Peter to pay Paul. I've been using the money off of this credit card to pay that credit card, getting money from this credit card to pay that credit card, and I am no longer going to be able to balance any of this at all. So before she ever made one late payment, she filed bankruptcy, and guess what? Her credit scores went up from the 700s to the 800s. Because here's the deal. The bankruptcy itself does not make your credit score go down. It's all the things that happened prior to the bankruptcy. It's the late payment on the car, the late payment on the mortgage, the late payment on the credit cards, the late payment on your installment debt. That is what makes you go into a bad credit score situation. It's the judgment, it's the collection, it's the medical bills, it's the things that actually hit your credit report that make your credit score drop, not the bankruptcy itself. If you think you're never going to be able to get a good job, if you think you're never going to be able to recover, if you think you're never going to be able to do anything after bankruptcy, let me tell you something. Those are all myths. First of all, look at the person who's run this country, right? So bankruptcy is not something that will block you from doing the things that you want to do. As a matter of fact, you can get a bankruptcy and you can file a petition, a Chapter 13, and you can buy a house in a year. You can buy a house in 2 years, depending on what kind of bankruptcy you just filed. You can get a car. You can rebuild your life after bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is not the end of the world. Do not believe the hype. Do not let people tell you that it can't be done. Get knowledge, get educated. Join my class, How to Bounce Back After Bankruptcy and Build Wealth. I'll see you in class.
Now, Lynn, it seems like, some emergencies and hard times befell this couple right here. How should somebody prepare for that?
So the best thing you can do to prepare for a financial setback is to save as much as you can, but when you lose an income, reduce everything. Eat beans, get coupons, cut out all of your expensive friends, those kind of things, right?
Darius, Okay, so you bought a new home, right? And then you got injured and you're off work. You fall behind on your bills and then you had to sell your house. Okay, so how did that affect you?
It put us in debt. We had to short sell a house. We didn't know too much about the market, so it really broke us even. I had to run through my 401k and my stock, and on top of that, we got our car repossessed.
Darius, you let them take your car.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, listen to me, partner. Never, ever let the car get repoed. Lynn, how would you explain that debt to us?
Right now, you're in a position where you've got about $1,200 in income coming in. I had them do an income and expense spreadsheet, and you've got about $1,700 in bills going out. Unfortunately, what's happened, so many things have just escalated. Right now, they've got about a $16,000 debt for a car that they do not own. There are $10,000 in medical bills, and then there's another $9,000.
Oh, because of his injury?
Yes,
Okay.
and then another $9,000 in attorney's fees. So right now there's about $50,000 in debt. So
But let me say this, though.
Yeah.
They're in a real predicament here.
absolutely.
You know, you can't have 17 go out and 12 come in.
Absolutely. The truth is, there's something called bankruptcy. And the forefathers of this country thought it was so important, right along with God. Bankruptcy is in the Constitution and the Bible, okay? So what my belief is, what my recommendation is that you file bankruptcy. It is better to file bankruptcy to get a clean slate, to start over, rebuilding your credit. You can get a house within a year. You can get a car immediately. You can build your life again, and you don't have the stress of all these debts and bills coming after you.
Let me ask you this, though. What would their finances look like after you file in bankruptcy? Because a lot of people don't know how this works. So after you file bankruptcy, how does your finances look?
After you file bankruptcy, right now they've got about $50,000 in debt. After you file bankruptcy, $48,000 of that is going to go away. You'll have about $1,500 that you owe. File bankruptcy and then start to rebuild your life all over again.
So bankruptcy, in your estimation, is not the big dark cloud that a lot of people think if you do it. Now, when you file bankruptcy, should you get a lawyer to do it the right way?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Do not do it yourself. Don't go to Office Max and get the paperwork. There are a lot of intricacies. So you won't have any other debt. So you may as well go on and pay an attorney to file the bankruptcy. Most attorneys will take a small down payment, and then they'll put the other fees inside the bankruptcy.
It's hard because poverty creates no options.
Yeah.
Yes.
At least, you hear people say more money, more problems. That's a true statement. But at least when you got money, you have an option.
Yes.
Yeah, but you can the thing about money does? Money takes all emergencies and turns them into mere inconveniences.
Yes.
The key
Yes.
is to get some money. How you feel okay about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I think y'all gonna be fine.
Are you sick and tired of always being broke, living check to 2 o'clock? That's when you get paid at 8 a.m. and by 2 p.m. the money's gone. Are you tired of praying for a breakthrough, and when the breakthrough comes, you're in a bad situation or even worse than the one you were in before? Well, guess what? I've been there and I've done that, and I overcame, and so can you. In my free class, How to End Your Battle with Money for Good. You see, I have had foreclosure, multiple bankruptcies. I was making $20, $30, $40, $60, $80,000 a month, not a year, and I always found a way to be broke. So I had to learn the rules of the game, and then I had to play the game by the rules. And that's what I'm going to teach you how to do. I'm going to teach you how to set boundaries, overcome those spending cycles, and finally live the financially free life that you dream of. Do you want to improve your credit score? Do you want to buy a home? Do you want to help take care of your parents? Do you want to do something special for your kids without always worrying about money? How to End Your Battle with Money for Good. I'll see you in class.
Share and subscribe.